When I and God merges, everything is. You see, there's no division. The merging apparently takes place when I and God merges, everything is. So what has to take place? What has to take place for everything to be? This transition of merging, of transcending, is an illusion, but real. How can it be real without being elusive? How can it be elusive without being real? Because they're both the same, you see. But the mind, it cannot consume. It's far too immediate. It's far too quick. It's too much of an impact. I have to transcend. I have to give myself some space. Now there appears to be two speaking. I have to give myself some space. So the merging is taking place within the space. The I and myself is the idea that I'm separate. The witness is separate from the witnessing and that what is witnessed. So we have an apparent three way of looking at things. Me looking at you. What can work without the other, you see? What can work without the other? So the you, the I that looks, is temporary. The you is temporary. The looking is. Simply is. No beginning, no end. The merging of I and God is. There's nothing taking place. Is. There simply is. We are fortunate to have a body and a mind to feel that connection with is. But when there's a connection with is, there's no disconnection from is. So the mind loves the idea of being separate. It also loves the idea of being truly one. And it doesn't want or has no capacity to translate an infinite connection or an infinite disconnection. You see, the mind that we have adapted, communicated with, taken on board and started believing that we are this mind, is a fantastic way to experience the merging. The merging that never takes place. The coming and going that never takes place, but the mind gives it a time element to allow a transitional taking place. I don't know if this makes sense. It cannot make sense to the mind, because the ego mind either has to be disconnected or connected. It can't be both at the same time. How can you be both at the same time? How can you be man and woman at the same time? Life is. Science is. Religion is. Emptiness is. Everythingness is. Fullness is. Nature is. Consciousness is. God is. Truth is. Reality is. Where's the mind going? You see? The mind is just happy, blobbing something that makes it feel, wow, there appears to be a connection. When it says there appears to be a connection, it means there's disconnection. Because there's something that wants to make, or is experiencing, a stopping of is, to create two, one that sees a connection or a disconnection. This is the whole teaching of Buddha. It's a very primitive and unworthy man that makes the clarity appear. No, you don't have a gown. You didn't go to meditation. You didn't chant Om for years and years. Well, you don't know what or who anything truly is, apart from being is. The mind of judgment, the mind of value, the mind of analysis, the mind of preferences, the mind of competitiveness is a conceptual way of saying, yeah, let's play about with this life. Let's play about with our existence. And what's wrong with that, you see? I don't want to be connected as God the whole of this life. I want to do stuff individually. Yeah. I want to commit sins. I want to be happy. I want to be, distrusting, mistrusting. That's okay. That's how we are. That's what humans actually want. But the being has no wants. It simply is. So when the human learns to be like the being, just contented, I often call it boring, but it's absolute bliss. It's contentment. There's nowhere to go, nowhere I came from. Where is I? Where is I that comes and goes? The mind, it comes and goes. The mind, it's looking into the past. It's looking to the left. It's looking to the right. Take the looker out of the equation. Is there a left and right, or is everything the same? You see? So the mind wants to create identities and division. That's what it does exceptionally well as. And when it gets to the so indecisive and divisive state, it creates war. It creates disharmony. So what? What kind of mind have you developed, Mr. Is? Or Mrs. Is, you see? You see, it's impossible to escape from the opposing sides. Mr. Yeah? You say God is He, because it's been conditioned so much through your schooling, your teaching, your religion, your education, your news, your television, your whatever it is, says this is how it is, you see, for that mind. And this is how it is for this mind. But both are looking from the same point and seeing the same result. I and consciousness is. Without I, no is. Without consciousness, no is. Together, merged as one, there all is. It sounds incredibly stupid, incredibly foolish to the mind that wants to make sense. Sounds creative, sounds exceptionally, exciting to the mind that wants to see, nonsense. When you sit with yourself, there's a moment of two. I am sitting with myself. The moment you stop speaking and associating with I and myself, you just sit as is. As it is. This is God. So you are actually absolute God. Not in an ego way, not in a monetarial way, not in a personal way, but you are sitting reflecting God when everything is. How can it be tasted? You see, the mind will raise questions to say, how can I taste it? You are the taste. That's why everyone looks at you with, more so children. They look at every adult with admiration, with awe. up until the age of the alarm that opposing ways. That's a good man, that's a bad man. That he's the right colour, she's the wrong colour. She's the right size, she's the wrong size. She's the wise, she's the foolish. See? We are, let's have our children, right? Yeah, and let's treat them like God. Yeah. Oh, and there's no effort. Wow, wow, this, they never told me it was going to be like this, They never told me how in love I would be with this baby, this child that I cradle in my hands. This one that was, is true, it's perfect, it's unique, Oh, yes, yes, yes. And then one day you look at the child and the child's staring into space and it's just in awe of what's taking place, and your mind says, oh, he's bored. Come, I'll show you a bit about the spices of life, Let's show you about the spices of life, I want to put some flavoring on your life. And that's the mind born. And that's what we do. And the moment you rebel or repel or fight against this, you're taking a side of contentment. Just let them be content. So then the God that we truly don't know says, okay, if they're not willing to be content like me, and of course I gave them the freedom to be as they are. I gave them the brain, the mind, the facilities, the emotional body and everything. So I'll allow them to move into this world of human. But I'm going to have to break up the day because I don't think they can maintain that needs. So I'm going to have to put a stop every night and put them to sleep, so that they wake up with a new, fresh routine. Same routine, but with some sort of break in it. Otherwise, they'll burn themselves out. And that's why we love sleep. Because that's the most closest to God that dwells within you as God is. Namaste.